it with your own money. These reps right here on this list, they averaged the highest money down, top in the company in 2023. And what's also crazy about this number, it is no wonder that 5 of these 10 reps have a 0% attrition in the last 12 months. And the average attrition among this group in the last 12 months is less than 1%. Now, if you look at this list, after the 2 powerhouses from our inside sales team, Maria and Jackie, you see Chaz Parks on this list. The highest money down of reps that are out there in the field selling. He is averaging $664.72 up front from customers. And with that, Chaz, we welcome you to the program. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on the call.
Absolutely. So we're going to do a little bit of history for you. You and I spoke for a bit yesterday, and there was a lot to unravel. First off, can you tell us how you came to be working for Skyline?
Skyline. I've known Edwin for quite a few years. Met him at, I think, Door to Door Con 4 or 5 years ago. And my previous company was a Brinks dealer, and they essentially dismantled their door-to-door program. Edwin and I had always wanted to work together, so the door flung right open. Previous company gave me their blessing, and here we are today.
I love it. So we talked about your average down payment was over $650 on your customers, and you have a 0% attrition lifetime on your accounts. Can you walk us through your process on how you're able to get customers to invest so much upfront on the product that we are providing for them?
I go in with a confidence, with a price that's maybe higher than most people are willing to present to a customer, and I don't deter from it. I come from, a background where I'm upselling in the fine dining industry, trying to, sell expensive bottles of wine to get my check average up. And sometimes when I'm going in, I'm like, wow, I'm really charging them $3.99 for a panel, $39 per door sensor, $99 per glass break detector. In my mind, I'm like, are they going to go for it? But I don't let them see the white in my eye questioning if they're going to go for it. I just go for it. If I see them kind of backing up a little bit, then I can strip things down just a little bit. But I just go forward with massive confidence, knowing that I can do it because I've done it hundreds of times before.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. So you came from, so for those of you who don't know your background, you came from the fine dining, industry. You were serving the likes of like Kim Kardashian and Tiger Woods. I think you said Tiger Woods, like all these top end people. You have to mention the names, but you were used to being around these high end celebrities. And what did that do, that experience to be around these people who had unlimited amount of money? How did that help you translate into, I'm going to people with the same confidence. They have money to spend. I have a product that's worth it. So give us a little bit about that background and how it built you into who you are.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of, and serving it's a tough job, and you're working sometimes if you're a closer in the restaurant industry as a captain or whatever you may be, and you're leaving out at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, trying to get all the other servers out of the restaurant. But it was a great experience. I was able to serve people like Michael Jordan, Derek Jeter, Joe Montana, and a slew of other people, so many other people. But the people that are coming into these restaurants, their price per plate is typically around $50, $60. So if you can come in and you can upsell them, for example, if they get a filet mignon and you can top it off with some crab meat or some asparagus or hollandaise sauce, then your price per plate jumps up to $75, $80. People that are paying that much for an entree, for a nice steak, they're trying to get a good bottle of wine too. Shout out to Ben Brookhart with that Silver Oak, right? So the Silver Oak, you can jump it on up, get $500 plus, $1,000 plus, thousands of dollars for these bottles of wine, which contributes usually to a 20% tip. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm trying to create a memorable experience for each customer and wowing them so that when they leave out, they talk about it and they come back time and time again. So people like Derek Jeter from the Yankees would come in all the time during spring training when I lived in Tampa. So similarly, when I'm doing the sales presentation with a customer, I'm mostly selling to high-end customers, multi-million-dollar homes, and they want to pay for their equipment up front. They see the value. I built massive value in the equipment, the features and benefits, to where they don't really second guess it, because I also know my competitors' prices, which is huge. I know the prices from these local companies, these national companies, Vivint, ADT, whoever it may be. I know their prices from the back to the front. So knowing that, knowing my competitors and knowing what they're going to most likely go with, I can come in with a better price, better features and benefits. And I think the most important thing is that I work with Skyline and I'm also their guy. So they get my direct number. So ongoing, they have any questions or concerns. That's how I can pride myself in doing zero attrition, because they have massive skin in the game. Zero attrition, I think, actually for 5+ years now, actually, because I've been with Skyline, I think, for about 2.5 years, something like that. But really pride myself in that. And anybody that puts money into something, an investment, whatever it may be, you have the skin in the game, and you're way less likely to want to back out or cancel because you've already committed.
Absolutely. And one investment you made that we wanted to show right here is tell us about this Jeep. How did you come to do it? And talk to us about this investment. Edwin wanted me to bring that up.
Oh man, that was yesterday. My wife and I took my daughter out, and just went off-roading, went and hiked and everything. And this is Edwin's previous launch edition 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, nicknamed Optimus Prime. So it's looks like a transformer, but had the roof off completely. I was looking for a Gladiator Rubicon, the truck, and I kind of played around with Edwin about it. And then, I was down the rabbit hole searching, and I just could not find one that was fully loaded. And then 6 months or so later, Edwin's like, hey man, I think I might be ready to sell it. So of course, me being the salesman, I tried to negotiate a lower price, but Edwin, as you know, when God tells him something, he's going with it, and he's not going to deter from it. But I flew to LA, went and met Edwin at his house. And then we went downtown, to the Jeep dealer where he had it serviced and ready to go for me. Bought it from him, and I had an amazing experience meeting with Edwin for one, and then also driving it back to Georgia, hitting up multiple national parks along the way. It was an incredible experience.
That's awesome. So Edwin, we're going to come to you really quick. We got a lot of people to talk to after this, but I want to give you a moment. When you look at Chaz and what he's doing, and then also the Jeep story, talk to us quickly about that.
Well, the Jeep story, I'm just glad the Jeep finally has a home. Where my Jeep was basically a garage queen. All it was sat in my garage looking pretty. And now Chaz is just taking it all over the damn place. You even crashed it already, right? Or like
right.
You turned it over?
Yeah, well, I didn't turn it over. I definitely use it for its fullest capabilities. I had it hanging off a cliff with the back wheels off, and the embankment was on top of the roof, ripped the mirrors off, about ripped the fenders off, but we corrected that, so we're good to go.
All right, man. Well, I'm just proud you're getting to use it, and you're taking advantage of it, because I still think, obviously, I'm a little biased, but I think it's the most beautiful Gladiator I've seen. So, and now you have it, so I even feel better about it. So that's great. And in regards to what Chaz said, it just kind of takes me back to people don't have to believe what you're saying; they just have to believe you believe what you're saying. Everything is a transfer of belief. And that's what Chaz has. That's why he's able to ask for that money down. But here's the thing. If you never give it a shot, you'll never know, right? Because you only believe something in your heart if you experience it, and you'll never experience it if you don't try it. Same thing with the warranty, same thing with raising the RMR, same thing with picking up activation. If you don't try, you won't experience, therefore you'll never believe it. And for whatever reason, every time you try the first time, it kind of you screw it up. But then you think that just because you screwed up that one time, you're not going to try again. And it's just a numbers game. But once you get comfortable with it, get enough experiences under your belt, get enough wins under your belt, you start to believe. Now you're able to transfer that belief to the client. Client's going to go with it all the time. So thank you for sharing, Chaz. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Edwin. And Chaz, there's so much more to your story. I'm going to have to get you back on here again, because when you and I were talking about things that you've been through and gone through to get you to where you are, to be able to appreciate the opportunity you have in front of you, I think it'd be very inspirational for everyone to hear. But, we got other people to get to that we're excited to talk to. But with that, any final comments or thoughts for the group?
Yeah, I think, since we're speaking about just, charging customers as much as you can out of pocket, like I said, you need to not only understand your competitor, you need to know what things cost you in your commission structure, whatever that may be. One thing, for example, I just know my commission from the front to the back. So if I'm doing a pivot with a customer and I see that they're kind of like, oh, well, this company is doing a 3-year, I'll build the value, but obviously everyone's not going to go with a 5-year commitment. We know that. We're going to try to push it hard to get it. But if I have to strip it on down to 3 years, then I'm going to charge them $199 out of pocket. And then if they're kind of blinking at me, then I'm going to come through and charge them $150 out of pocket. Then I'm going to make it seem like if they're not committing, I'm going to call a manager, which I am the manager. I'm going to call my wife probably, to be honest with you. And I'm going to say, hey, listen, we have a customer here. They have good location, good visibility for a yard sign. Can we go ahead and hook them up with a 50-50, on the split, on the down payment, on the activation, or whatever we may call it. So you just got to know your numbers, know where you can go with them, and just try to get as much commission. That's what it's all about. We're all here trying to make as much money as we possibly can per sell, and as many sells as we can get. When you can marry those two things together, financial freedom's just right around the corner.
I love it. Thank you so much, Chaz, and thank you for sharing. And, one thing I want to point out, we are looking to make as much money, but one thing I love about Chaz is he doesn't overcharge the customer. He's not like, oh, I'm going to charge him $1,000 because I can. It's fair. It's competitive. It's within line of the industry. So absolutely love it. And look at those numbers. Huge shout out. Thank you so much, Chaz, for sharing that with us.
My pleasure. God bless.
You do. All right. Going into our top rookies of last week. First, we want to welcome Jenny Malone to the top 5 for the first time. Had his 10 spot there. We had 4 rookies with 10 last week. Cindy Gutierrez